Good morning, everyone. It is actually 11:01 in the morning. I jumped an hour ahead. Sorry. My name is Cheryl Pollack, and I am Commission on the Status of Women representing Premier Community Healthcare. I would like to officially call the meeting to order. Everyone should have a paper or digital agenda, and thank you, Johanna, for consolidating and helping us follow the correct format that is now required by the county. So it looks lovely. So we'll go ahead and do the roll call first, since that is first on our agenda. Cheryl Pollack, present. Jean, right next to me, present. Leona Schuler. Rosario Torres. Sharni, present, right next to me. Lauren Maselli. Lisa Richardson. Did I hear Lisa?
I think so.
Yeah, they had us muted, Cheryl, so we couldn't respond. This is Lauren Maselli. I'm present.
Oh, okay. All right. I was trying to scroll down on the screen here. How'd you get yours to move over?
No.
Is it touchscreen?
I just touched it.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you, Lauren.
Joined.
Lisa Richardson, are you with us? Craig, is everyone able to unmute themselves? Okay, great. Everyone should be able to unmute themselves. I see Dr. Rhonda Waddell. Kelly
Here.
Sin.
I'm here, Kelly Sin.
Hi, Kelly. Jenny C.
I'm here.
Great. And Kelly Mothershead. Teresa Foster. Yep, I see her there. Hi, Teresa. And Denise Nicholas. I think I saw her name here.
Hi, Cheryl. I'm here. Thank you.
Great.
Hello, everyone.
Nice to see you. All right, very good. Do we have any public comment? No public comment. Okay, wonderful. Well, we have 3 people present, and it looks like about 7 virtually. And so we will move forward. We're not able to approve the minutes from August to the last one, which was in March. And our guest speakers, we have 2 wonderful guest speakers that Kelly said has arranged, and we will begin with our guest speakers. Rachel Storostin, please correct me if I mispronounced your last name. Rachel is joining us from the Grace House, and it is a shelter for women recovering from addiction. So Rachel, you have about 10 minutes, and then we'll have some Q&A. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Just I'm just trying to. Okay. Good morning. I want to thank you for this opportunity. My name is Rachel Starostin. I am from Grace House. We are a women's faith-based sober living facility in Newport Richey. We have 6 bedrooms. There's 13 beds. Our primary focus is substance use, but we also deal with a lot of co-occurring women. Our ages that we take are 18 and up. I didn't really think that we were going to have too many girls who are 18, but right now we currently do. Women come in here, we try to provide wraparound services. They come out of jail, they come off the street. When they come here, they immediately, they're assigned a mentor from the church. and then we start Bible studies. They also sign up for counseling and outpatient classes at Baycare. We partner with them. I'm sorry. So anyway, we partner with Baycare, and then we get busy. They go to a 12-step meeting. They get a sponsor. We in our house, we have nobody works on Wednesday, so they have Bible study. They do wellness recovery action plan, so they learn how to identify unhealthy habits and how to correct them. We have life skills classes that are brought in. They also work one-on-one with a recovery coach to develop an individualized recovery plan. We're quite strict. They come in. Some of the things that are always a shocker, like they do not have a phone at first. We do not have relationships. We have multiple classes and Bible studies on codependency. We work with the court, so any court arrangements or arrangements for DCF case plans, we try to accommodate that. We also have parenting life skills for women who have children. They're required to work or to volunteer. Some of the women are on disability, but they go through, like one community now, they build a resume, we put them in job training. Some of the women go back to school. If they go back to school, we will help provide tutors and whatever resources like laptops and things that they need for that. Our program is approximately 6 months. Having said that, it doesn't always go that way. I have a lady getting ready to graduate who's been here 8 months. I think what's different about this program versus other programs is we try to follow them when they leave. We're currently getting ready to open a 3-quarter house. We bring women in, they get jobs, they're doing well, and then they have nowhere to go after this program. So we're opening a new house where it'll be like a roommate situation. They won't have to pay all the deposits or try to get a lease. It'll be 3 girls, 3 rooms. So they'll each have their own room, and they'll still go to meetings and be drug tested, but they'll have a lot more freedom than they have here. And so we can just continue to do that. So we try not to leave them without options. That's become like a real situation because housing is difficult when you have felonies or you have had evictions in the past. So this is a faith-based program. We have Bible studies. We're connected with a church, Trinity Church of Christ. They bring in Bible studies. We emphasize Bible studies on life skills and codependency, who you are in Christ, what a healthy relationship looks like. I would say 90% of the women who've come through here have been in domestic violence situations. So we really try to work on those things. I currently have a woman who just came out of a homeless camp from a tent. So some of the life skills that we work on there are a little different. We're past a routine, like telling her that she does not have to pick up everything she owns to take it to a meeting with her because nobody's going to steal it is kind of a big thing. We have a really nice house. It's 3,000 square feet. The women there's 2 to 3 girls in a room. We teach things like cooking, how to budget. Each woman gets a bank account. We have some partnerships. We teach them how to balance a budget, teach them how to keep a checkbook. So they learn how to save money here, which is another big thing. We just did a class on how to eat healthy for $200 a month because that's their food stamps, trying to break that up. We also have like different exercise classes here and yoga classes that we do. They get to meet people in the community. We bring different community organizations in and they get to know these women. These women also do volunteer work. They help pass out Narcan. They help feed the homeless. They find a lot of enjoyment in that. They go back. Some of them are going back to school. I have 2 currently going back to school. One of them is going to school to be a teacher. At the moment, I have an 18-year-old girl in here who was at risk of graduating high school. So she is well on her way to doing that now. It's totally great to see her doing well. So the process to get in here is they call. I have different organizations, call. We do an in-depth interview. I don't necessarily want to take someone that I can't help We don't take children at this time. They are allowed visits with their children. A lot of them have court ordered visits, so obviously we would comply with the court orders. We encourage them to work with their families. We do an individual one-on-one wellness recovery action plan where their families come in and we talk about what a healthy family looks like as far as their family. And when things are going bad, we teach them all some coping skills to work together, and they have to complete that in order to graduate. You know, we don't want to send women back into a family situation that is too overwhelming and difficult for them to handle. You know, the goal is for them not to come back as residents again. We want them to be successful and move forward. They sign in and out. I always know where they are. They each get a planner. We do a whole lot of time management training. So if a girl ideally is missing or has trouble, we would know where they are or how to find them. So we help provide bus passes. I have women that come in with absolutely nothing. We help with toiletries, we'll help with clothes, whatever they need to get started, food. So what we're really looking for is willingness. They're willing to do whatever it takes to rebuild their life. We want to help them do that.
Rachel, can you talk a little bit about, this is Cheryl, can you talk a little bit about your infrastructure in terms of staffing, funding, your board, and just to give us an idea of how your organization is structured?
Okay, we are a nonprofit organization. We do have a board. We only have 3 members. We have the treasurer, the president, and I'm the operations manager. Our funding comes from mostly private pay. The women come in. We also, the church provides scholarships at the beginning for women. So I have women that will come in like a month to get started and they'll pay that. We also have a contract with jail diversion and with Baycare, so they will pay for women to come in as well. We just had somebody come in through the CARES Act, the money for rent. And so as far as staff, right now I'm currently looking to hire a house manager. I am the only full-time staff. I'm here all the time. For the most part, we have a lot of volunteers. I probably have 20 volunteers that are in here on a weekly basis. And they're all kind of have a specific task, and they sign non-disclosure agreements about the women. We have a whole packet of information that they have filled out. Does that answer?
And when did the organization start? Yes, that's excellent. When did the organization get started?
We got our paperwork approved January 22nd of last year. We opened our doors for the first resident March 1st.
Wow, that's excellent.
This is my own first venture in sober living, but I am not new to sober living. I just felt that we owe our women better. We need to provide them more resources. So it was just a matter of how to bring that together cost effectively.
Right, excellent. Any questions from the commission? Jean?
I have a question, Joel. This is Jean Nappy. So do you get your women referred to you mainly by the court system? How do you fill those beds?
That was kind of the plan. We were going to get a lot of people from court, but then we opened and quarantine happened and court kind of shut down. I do get people from court. I also get people from our local 12-step. Word gets around in a recovery community. It's like a Christian community. People get to know you. I get referrals from the church. I've been very active in like different community organizations, and I get calls. Also, I get calls from rehab centers. I get several calls from Teen Challenge trying to find a transitional program for women to acclimate back into the real world. So at this time, no, I don't get a whole lot of court referrals, but that is changing.
That's great. It sounds like you have established just in, slightly over a year, a lot of community partnerships, and just the fact that you have 20 dedicated volunteers, it really shows a need and a passion for the mission of Grace House. So thank you for sharing. Are there any other questions at this time for Rachel?
Rachel, I had a question.
I have a question.
Oh, you want to go ahead, Rhonda? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll go next. I'll go next.
Okay.
You have the floor, Sharni.
Okay, thank you. I just had a couple of questions. Are you currently full? Are all your beds spoken for?
No, I have 4 open beds at the moment.
Okay. Do you have any, I'm just thinking of a scenario recently. What is your policy with transportation? If, say, hypothetically, I had a client here in East Pasco, and how could we get them to?
Each situation is different, but if you had somebody who was wanting to come, hold on one second. Sorry. And they met all the criteria, I would certainly have somebody come pick them up. We will go get women. I haven't had to go as far as like Miami. Usually we can find some kind of accommodation, but we're going to go get them. We're going to bring them here and help them.
And then when you do your assessment, is there a policy? Do they have to clean for so many days?
They have to be able to pass a drug test. When they come in, we always do a standard 12-panel drug test, which is pretty common. It depends. Like if I have a woman that comes in, opiates are a big thing right now, in a standard drug test, fentanyl was not on there. So obviously I would test for that as well. There are some exceptions. If somebody is coming out of detox, say at Baycare, and they've been there for 5 days and they're still testing positive, unfortunately, some of these new drugs have something that keeps longer. So we would take them at that time, but if they can pass a drug test, we'll take them.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. And Rhonda, you can go ahead now.
I was just wondering, where are you located? And is it like a private place that you have a secret address like some domestics, or is it open to the public?
We're not a secret place like domestic violence shelters. I don't encourage people to just come knock on the door like this is a retail business, but you're more than welcome to come tour the place and meet some of the women and see what we do here. We do have people come. And we are. So are you in?
Are you in Pasco?
Yes, we're in Newport Richey. I don't know where you're here, but we're off of Massachusetts. The Baycare office off Massachusetts, we're like 1.2 miles down the street from there.
And are you open to anyone outside of Pasco County? Is it Florida wide, or how do you take people in or screen for people?
I've even received calls from Canada. We do a phone assessment. Yeah, that was really cool.
Okay. That is cool.
I take people, we're about to do some internet marketing. I'm good at recovery. I've had to hire someone to help with that. So we do take people from all over. Actually, I have somebody coming in from Georgia, and the Butterfield Foundation, which is a huge organization for the Free Methodists, their national chairman is flying down in 2 weeks because they want to try to open a clinic connected, which would be cool.
Do you take interns, like social work interns?
I haven't done that yet, but I think that we have the capacity to do that, and I would love to do that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, Rachel, you can tell that there's a lot of interest and, good engagement with our Commission on the Status of Women members. So thank you so much. Is there anything that you'd like to say in closing?
I really appreciate this opportunity. I'm a little nervous this morning. I would like to invite all of you to actually come here for yourself. It's probably not what you expect. It's a really beautiful place. And our women are always encouraged to see other women in the community that are interested and support them. I can't tell you enough of what that means for them. Please come visit.
Thank you. Thank you.
thing,
Oh, one more,
Rachel?
Jean.
I was wondering if you had any kind of like a brochure or business card or website or anything like that you could share with us to where, we can have that at our commission to share with other women.
Do you have a website or anything that we?
And currently it's down at the moment because I met with the web person Friday. So it'll be up again at the end of the week. It's www.gracerecoveryhomes.com. Like I said, I think at the end of the week, she should have it fixed. And I have a new brochure coming. I just did all this Friday, and I do have a business card.
So it's gracerecovery.com.
It's Grace Recovery Homes, HOMES.
With an S on the end of home.
Yes, that's the goal. By the end of the year, we would like to have another house open. And if we're going to stay in Pasco.
And Rachel, when you get your brochure, can you send us a digital PDF version? You can send it to Kelly, who reached out to you to speak, and then we'll be able to share it with our packet so that everyone that is with us and that may have missed our meeting today could learn.
Okay, absolutely. And if any of you run across a woman that wants to come to a place like this and doesn't necessarily have funding, that's not always a barrier. We could help get that started. Please don't let that deter somebody from getting the help they need.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Very good. All right. Well, thank you. We're going to move on. We're going to move on to our next speaker. Angel Cook is with the Wrap House, and her presentation will be about the Wrap House, which serves youth in crisis.
Angel is not on, Cheryl.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Angel is not on, so we may have had some technical challenges getting her connected. So we're going to move on. Thank you for alerting me, Johanna, and we will follow up with Angel and invite her to a future opportunity. Okay, so let's get down to business. On our agenda, we have a couple of items under old business. And the very first one is definitely our work plan, which is also attached on pages 29 through 36, I believe, or 35. And so you can defer to that. We actually have broken out our strategic focus areas very clearly on here, and we continue to update it after every meeting. So right now, let's discuss our membership. We did have a nomination initially from United Way. However, the statute does require that the member for the CSW lives in Pasco County. And even though the person worked in Pasco County, they lived in Pinellas County. So United Way, Chuck Anderson did respond to Johanna and myself and let us know that, actually, I didn't read that last email. What did he say?
He said, thank you for letting him know.
Okay, so is he reconsidering someone else?
It sounds like it.
Okay, all right. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to speak too confidently.
Laura Knight is the one that
Correct.
lives not in Pasco.
Correct, okay. Correct. So so Laura Knight was Chuck's recommendation, and then when she submitted the paperwork, it was realized that she was not a resident of Pasco. So United Way still has an opportunity to appoint someone, and we will follow up. And then Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
I reached out to them and I haven't heard back.
Right. I didn't know if they sent it directly to you. So I do get CC'd on some of these emails, but was hoping we had heard back. So, she is new in her role, and I'm sure just trying to field out a good representative for the organization, for the appointee. And I just want to say, if anybody has recommendations that you would like to suggest to Commissioner Fitzpatrick, I think that would be okay, because we've been, some of us are new, some of us have been at this for a little while, but it might be an opportunity for her to get to know, some of the constituents that she would like to consider.
Yeah, I think if anybody knows her personally, it's a good phone call, and it helped to fill Jack Mariano's position when I got on the phone and talked with him directly, saying, hey, we need to fill this position. Can you please nominate somebody?
Right.
I think, sometimes the emails get just shoved aside, but a personal phone call would be, everybody knows her. I've never met her.
Okay. Does anybody on our commission have a good rapport with Commissioner Fitzpatrick and willing to follow up outside of, county staff and myself?
Hey, Cheryl, this is Denise. I actually am working with the county commissioners for our senior car parades for our high school seniors. And absolutely, I can add that to what I'm talking with her about.
Would you? Okay, well, let's put that down as our update. Denise will follow up. And I think, just sharing your own personal experience. You joined the commission over the last year, and I think that would also help aid. And since you are broadly representing the PTA in our county, you may have ideas that she can consider.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So item number 3 is our bio project. And Lauren, do you have an update for us? I know you got started and I saw some drafts. And so any other updates or any needs from the commission?
I don't think so. Sorry, I am like super multitasking today. I was going to schedule out some more of them. We did get, I don't know if anyone saw on social media the other day, the Florida Commission on Status of Women started following us on Facebook. So I saw that over the weekend. So that was exciting. So I'm going to just kind of look and see if they have any posts that we could share too. But I did draft up all the bios, made any edits that I was asked to make. So they're all good. So I'm just going to start scheduling them out, I think once a week, so that we have one of those going out every week and we can just kind of like rotate them back in. That's it for the bios portion right now. And I sent an email to the 3 or 4 people that we were still waiting on. Did they follow up with you directly? I have not received those to my knowledge, but I am drowning in emails. That's okay. I will do my part and follow up.
Missing 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm. So I will do my part and assist with that and follow up. But thank you to everyone who has submitted. Lauren has done a really nice job to put together a template, and we will
like that.
Yeah, we'll
nice
move
job,
forward.
Lauren.
Mm-hmm. All right, item 4 is just our name badge. Denise, your name badge is here, and I'm happy to grab it and bring it to you so that if you are representing the PSW community, you can wear it. Would you be okay with that? We can always meet up in the community.
Absolutely. And honestly, I am trying to hopefully be in person at the next meeting. I apologize. I've had some health issues and things that have prevented me from being able to attend. So yes, if you could, that would be wonderful. If not, I am hoping to be there to to pick it up next month.
No worries. Thank you. All right. So item 5, we are looking at we already established our work plan, and Jean actually did our presentation last month on the 23rd. Thank you, Jean. I hope some of you were able to tune in and watch. If not, I'm sure there's a recording link on the website. Any highlights or any questions that came out of your presentation that we need to follow up on?
Oh, yes, there was one. Commissioner Mariano had addressed the recent vote on transgender women playing sports. And I told him there hasn't been any discussion or even a topic of that to come up in any of our meetings, but that I would bring it up today. I haven't actually read the vote, or I'm not really familiar with what actually happened, but probably something they're ineligible.
Yeah, they're ineligible. Okay. Any other comments or any thoughts on that? Is he asking for us to make a statement?
He just brought it up, and I said I would, mention it at our next meeting.
Okay. So are they looking for feedback from us?
I reached out to his staff and I didn't hear back. So
Okay.
I don't think they really wanted feedback. I think they just wanted to make us aware. That's how I took it.
Yeah, because it's been all over the news.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know
kind of a
Commissioner.
touchy subject, so I'm not sure how the CSW could help.
Okay. Well, why don't we send out the information so that everybody is aware? Because like you said, not everybody has had a chance to read it. I mean, it's an equity issue in my opinion. And so I think that if we are advocating for women's equity issues across the board, I definitely think that it's something that we should be aware of and be able to understand what's happening and how it impacts women in our community of all statuses.
The only other thing that Commissioner Starkey had commented on, she just thought that we were really going in the right direction and that she was glad to see us putting together the list of women-owned businesses. And she, of course, mentioned her shortbread from like Lassie's again.
Did she have some?
I think she's going to stock it in her gift store or whatever she's got over
wow.
there.
Yes, they got a contract with Starkey Market, is what she was saying.
Oh, that's excellent. Did that happen as a result of us talking about it?
I don't know if it happened yet, but I mean, she
That's great.
She was glad that we were, moving ahead with some of the compiling of the women-owned businesses and stuff.
Excellent. I mean, out of all things, I'm excited about everything that we're doing, but that piece of it, I think, has just re-inspired part of my why in serving, because we're all learning about what is available and how we can support women leaders, women business owners in our community, and also just share the resources with others that are in our community, whether they're women, men, children, or whatnot. So I'm really excited about this. And I think it just adds a little bit of substance to what we are doing and what we've been striving towards over the last couple of years. So very good. I love hearing that. Thank you.
Could we have the records reflect that Leona and Rosario joined?
Excellent. Welcome, Leona and Rosario. Thank you for mentioning that. I had checked off Rosario. I think it was, oh no, you're right. Okay, excellent. So Lisa Richardson and Kelly, if you do join, just let us know. Those are the only two that I have as not being checked off. Okay, so next on our agenda, we are moving forward on item 5. Okay, so that was 5. So item 6, actually, we jumped the gun a little bit. We talked about that briefly when Lauren mentioned our engagement and that the Florida Commission on the Status of Women is following us. Any other updates about our social media presence?
I just posted about the LEAD Summit a week ago or so. The only
Excellent.
addition that I made to our Facebook page.
Yes, I registered, and between the wedding and everything going on, I couldn't plug in as I had hoped. But any takeaways, anything that we can apply to what we're doing?
Actually, with I've signed up for LEAD Summit as well, but I ended up missing it.
Okay.
But I did attend the Empower Women event.
Okay.
PHSC.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, we were together in person there last year. All right. How are we doing on our followers and likes? Any updates on that?
I actually haven't checked it.
Okay.
I don't know if sometimes Kelly Mothershead checks it, but I didn't check it this weekend, so I'm not sure.
All right. Well, we were at 771 last month.
772 now that the Florida Status of Women has liked us. So
exactly. Excellent. Well, thank you. Very good. Okay. So yes.
It's Denise. We are actually up to 724 people that like our page, and we have 866 following our page. So we are up. it's not allowing me right now. I apologize. I had sent in the report last month when I wasn't able to attend the meeting, but and it's not letting me access right now any of our other additional information, but we are up.
Excellent. Very good.
Yeah.
And I have a strong feeling that once we begin our community awareness with our women-owned businesses, that we will definitely see a tremendous uptick and growth. So our page is exactly what we expected to do.
Yes, just up and getting the word out. Thank you.
Okay. So item 7, our guest speakers. How are you all feeling about our current roster of guest speakers? Are you benefiting? Are there any that you feel that we need to ask Kelly to focus on?
I just love having them because it brings awareness and educating us on what's going on out there.
Absolutely. Okay.
Cheryl, this is Jenny Sieg.
Hi, Jenny.
Hey, I just want to let you know that I had reached out to Jeff Grable. He's the managing attorney for Bay Area Legal Services. They are in Dade City and Newport Richey. And I had given him a date, but then I remember I had talked to Kelly, and Kelly said she was going to arrange everything for the speaker just to provide her with their information and she would get with them. So I just forwarded that information to Kelly. And so I think that's just one piece that maybe hasn't been in front of everybody is just a legal perspective. So hopefully Kelly and Jeff can talk about a future meeting with Bay Area Legal Services coming to speak to us.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. Very well. Okay.
Cheryl?
And just like Jenny, if any other CSW members have different ideas or sectors or topics that you feel that we need to bring before the commission, or people that we need to bring before the commission, please send that information to Kelly. She has taken, on full responsibility, which has been wonderful, and keeps us scheduled out at least 2 months at a time. Yes, Johanna?
Kelly just sent her regrets. I'll forward you her email.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
And Leona was having technical difficulties, so she just sent her regrets as well.
Okay, well, that is perfect. So we've got everybody but them, and they've all responded. So we're doing exactly what we expect. Item number 8, Women's History Month. Women's was in March, and Women's Health Month is coming up in May. And I know that Leona had sent us some updates about the activities and speakers that were taking place in March. I know that I remember reading one email about women's health and, the importance of the annual wellness visit. And so any other updates that you all want to share regarding March or May?
Is there any kind of free mammograms for women in May?
I know that there are discounted mammograms. I don't know about free. I know that there are programs, especially through the Advent Health mobile mammography unit, that they do have a flat rate for uninsured women.
I'm almost thinking that, sometime in April, we should post some information about that on our Facebook page for May.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
We need to be ahead of the game so we can get it out there, try to reach as many women as possible about that.
And Premier is hosting a Women's Health Day to promote clinical breast exams, which, even if you self-exam, you're not sure what you're feeling or what you're looking for. So we have all of our providers that will be seeing women on that day will do clinical as well as cervical cancer screenings, and it will be free for uninsured. So I will definitely get that information out to the commission so that we can share that as well. In the past, we've seen anywhere from 100 to 150 women during our Women's Health.
Mm-hmm. And is that held in May?
It is in May.
Okay.
Correct.
I'm going to go in May.
In conjunction with Women's Health Month.
Okay.
So one of the items that we did talk about was for 2022, and Jenny had mentioned you had some ideas for Women's History Month that we can start considering for 2022. Would you like to share that?
I'll just let you know there is the Women's History Month. Oh my gosh, I can't think of what it's. So it's a compilation. I think it's .org, and they every year come out with a theme for the month, and come out with all different kinds of things that can be printable, speaker topics, and so that's not out for 2022 yet. But I just, made an email to myself to remind me last time we had talked, we don't have to reinvent the wheel if you don't want to. That organization already has a little template that we'd be able to follow. So, maybe I'll look back. I'll look again maybe over the summer or, maybe early fall just to see what's available. But then that way we can plan months in advance as to maybe follow just the theme for Women's History Month, just to make it a little bit more cohesive. So just be on the lookout for that.
And what was the name of the organization again?
I want to say I'll send it to you. I'm almost positive it's womenshistorymonth.org, because it's a compilation of it's a federal edict, but I'll look at it to be specific and send it to you.
Excellent. Oh, that's great. Thank you. And I think, as we get into a pattern of what we're focused on, as long as it's on our work plan and, we're working towards it, but we also need to make sure that we're assigning leads, because even though we have 2 openings, there's 13 of us and we all signed up and committed to serving. So I think the more that we can spread out, the projects and different lead point of people, that it really helps us move things forward on behalf of the commission. So I appreciate, Jenny, you've taken the lead and at least finding out what that organization is. And like you said, we don't have to reinvent the wheel, but definitely for, one idea that I thought of, especially as it relates to Pasco, is just really lifting up women in our community. And whether we decide to do a commemorative event in that month or just do something, mentioning virtually or promoting virtually, I think that's really what's on the table for discussion, is how does this tie into the reason why we exist, and how do we continue to raise the bar for women leaders or women pioneers, trailblazers in our community, so that they can be an inspiration to others coming along.
Yeah. And Cheryl, it's womenshistorymonth.gov, and it's the Library of Congress, the National Endowment for Arts. So it's lots of different, historical federal agencies that can provide the content, broadly, that we could use in the future.
So what I would recommend is that, we, through your leadership, identify 3 things that we should consider, and then let's just, move forward with focusing on one of those 3. We're in April now, so like you said, by the summertime, things will probably get updated. But just based on what was done last month, I think that we can kind of get a gist of what we should do for March of next year. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Great. Okay. All right. So item number 9, we do have our October month of breast cancer awareness. At the last meeting, Kelly recommended that the CSW sponsor or create a team for the annual Bowling for Boobs event, which is in West Pasco. And she was going to find out more information on that. So in her absence, I'm just going to table that. I know that she will get that information to us, and then we can decide how we want to participate or represent the commission with that awareness fundraising activity. Denise, was there anything else that you're aware of? I know that the Making Strides Walk was virtual last year. I don't know if the relays are back on schedule for October of this year. They're usually high school, Pasco County. Would you like to update us on anything else that we need to consider for October as we get our planning in the work plan?
Absolutely. And there's not really an update to update, but it is an update. As things are looking up numbers wise, and vaccines are getting out, and things are continually being reevaluated so that way to be able to have those in-person events as we move forward with COVID. So I will just be continuing. There are no updates as of right now, but I will be continuing to monitor, and as those updates do come, share with our group.
Okay, I think that is just the kind of update that we wanted. I think we said the word update 6 times in the last 2 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I think any update is an update. I just didn't know if you were aware if they were back on track for in-person walks, since it is outdoors, and I'm starting to see an uptick of 5Ks and outdoor events, golf tournaments, and things like that.
That hasn't been, and hopefully, crossing our fingers, it will be. But as of right now, it has not. But I will continue to monitor and be sure to let us know.
Okay, perfect. All right, so item 10 is really going back to our discussion about an inaugural event to recognize, support, and celebrate the achievement of women and girls in our county. And while we did have a great virtual way to support the focus area for the last 2 years, which is domestic violence and teen dating violence awareness, we do want to move forward and plan for 2022. So ideas that I suggested last month include a summit or related activity to raise awareness about women and equity. And so it's open for discussion. And Lauren, I know you haven't had a subcommittee meeting, but maybe it's time for us to reinvigorate that committee. And I'm going to turn it over to you for anything that you feel we need to know to move forward.
For doing an in-person event, you mean?
Or it could be virtual. Just how do you want to reinvigorate that subcommittee and get things going again?
Yeah, I guess we should reevaluate and see who would be interested in being on that subcommittee and what we want to look at doing. I think we could definitely get some nice speakers together. And I think it'd be nice if we could do something that incorporated the domestic violence aspect, the women's health, and the women in business, maybe some kind of a panelist type thing. So I guess whether we discuss if that would be something we do live on social media or in a virtual platform or in person. Yeah, I can do that. Do we want, excuse me, Johanna, for sunshine purposes, do we want Johanna to just send out an email to the group asking them to contact me if they'd like to be in the subcommittee, and then I can set up a meeting from there?
Yeah, I mean, we've got just everybody on right now. So if you like to, I know we currently have Lauren and, well, you're Lauren, sorry. We have Jenny and Denise, and I would definitely like to participate. I've learned a lot about how other commissions are conducting themselves just by doing some reading over the last couple of months and reaching out to the Florida, the statewide commission on the status of women. And I just want to make sure that we continue to establish and build a legacy of what good our do.
Yeah, I think that's great with your research on that. That's perfect. And then from the event aspect, I've done so many events. I can whip all that kind of stuff up. And then if we can have a couple more ladies join us, that'd be great.
Okay. And then I also think that we need to revisit it's been almost 3 years. We started our presentations back in 2018 when we were learning about all the different needs in our community. And then that was primarily when we started focusing on domestic violence. So we need to decide, is that going to continue to be our focus for this new year? Or do we want to identify one of the other topics that became, second or third in our priority list? And with our new members, I know that you didn't have a chance to get all that information, so it might be a great opportunity for us to just have a workshop that focused on our strategic priorities when we did those presentations a couple of years ago, we did have a separate workshop outside of our regularly monthly meeting, so we can have a deeper dive into the data and some meaningful conversation around what should the CSW be strategically focused on for the coming 2 years.
I'm just kind of wondering if we shouldn't make that a standard procedure every like 5 years where we do that. Seems like from what I gather when I came on board, there was just a lot of like a whole year of just sitting and listening to different organizations without us really, gathering information, really didn't really act. So to me, I just feel like we should review that, but maybe put it in some type of schedule to where we're not, wasting.
Right. Well, we've only been in existence for 4 years. So I would say a 2-year plan would be good. And that's why I established the work plan, because we didn't have this before. And so I think that we just need to have a discussion or a planning session outside of the meeting where we can really get into the meat of that. And I don't think that the meeting gives us enough time and enough. And it was great because we also had an outside facilitator that helped us through that process, and that person was from the county. And I think that's what we need to do as we prepare for the next 24 months. But 5 years, I think, would be too long because the commissioner typically every 3.
Oh, it's every 3 years?
Mm-hmm. People can sign up for 1 to 3 years, but the maximum at any one given appointment is 3 years.
Okay.
So maybe it's 3 years, 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
Felt like we need to have some organization about it.
So what are you recommending, just so we can get feedback from everybody?
You said that we did this 3 years ago?
Yeah, we started it in 2018.
Well, the next year would be the year to.
Yeah, it would be now 2021.
This year then.
How do you all feel about having a workshop where we can revisit what we said we were going to do? Did we do it? Do we need to reset our strategic priorities?
This is Denise. I would be open to that, Cheryl.
Okay.
Hey, Cheryl, this is Kelly. I also think that's a really good idea.
Okay. All right. Well, I will work with Joanna, see if we can get a facilitator to assist us. And we have all the documents with the data, which, as we all know, data changes on a year-to-year basis. So I think we probably should get not ask all these speakers to come back, but just get some updated information. I think we have a lot of current data that just needs to be updated so we know the landscape that we're working with in our community. And then if we can schedule something, I know Mondays afternoons used to work well for us. And so we'll do a doodle survey to see if we can get a workshop scheduled within the next 6 to 8 weeks. I think that will definitely help us chart our course. Everything ties together, because if we're going to do an event, are we fundraising? What are we fundraising for? And how is that, the proceeds from that event going to support a strategic priority that we collectively have decided upon? Any other thoughts from any CSW members? Anything else? Okay. All right, Jean, you're up. How are we doing on our RAC card?
Well, we've had to identify the proper person that would help us in the tax. And you're okay, and Johan's okay on the price. It's $50. It's very reasonable. And I've submitted stock pictures. I've updated the meeting times. Just some of the other information that need to be updated. Waiting on a proof. So once I get a proof, I will send it out to you guys and get you guys to help proofread it and go forward, hopefully.
Great. So we should be able to have some prints maybe by May.
I would think by in 2 weeks.
Okay, perfect. I'll look out for that.
Once we get the proof, get it approved, I would think that they'll do it pretty quick.
Okay. All right. Any updates on our collaboration with existing committees, chambers, coalitions? I know that we're doing ongoing awareness via our social channels or channel.
Cheryl, it's Lauren. I don't know if it fits into this area. I think possibly. So the Pasco EDC just filled out a potential grant with a new company in Pasco County, and they are looking at giving us some funds to support women and minority-owned businesses. So we've proposed uses to them, which would include actual just grant money to help with things like, say, a bakery, they need their new pans and startup ingredients, or a clothing line, they need to purchase their initial investment for that. So we're looking at doing a grant for that, and then scholarships for some of our Smart Start programs. So the women and minorities would be able to take some of the classes, potentially get office space at one of our locations. So we're fingers crossed. We're working hard on that. We worked really hard on that application. So it's still in the works, but that would be something great that we'll be able to share with the community if we do get that opportunity.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah, we're really excited. We don't want to, we think we're doing good. We all just keep saying fingers crossed, and they haven't had any questions with our application or anything yet. So if everyone else could help cross their fingers, it would be awesome to be able to bring that to the community. It's we're asking for $100,000, and I want to say at least 75 would go towards the women and minority-owned business owners.
That is amazing news.
Yes.
So how are you sharing the opportunity? Is there a way that the CSW could promote it?
Absolutely. So that was all included in our proposal to them. So once that hopefully gets approved, then I should know by the next meeting to be able to share that with you guys, and I'll know more details on how we can go about helping share it. And I would be in charge of, I'm assuming, making the marketing for the actual Pasco EDC and Smart Start, and then we could share it on all of our social media and everything, and then maybe even do a direct reach to all those women-owned businesses that we've been compiling the list for. So that'll be a cool project for us to help with.
Absolutely. And so one of my questions for you, Lauren, is if the women business owner does not have any experience doing those type of applications, is there assistance through the PEDC, or should we provide some support in some kind of way?
I've been talking with my Smart Start director and the team on what we could have you guys join in on, whether it's subcommittees or something like that, where we can get a little bit more involved on the women-owned business side, because I just thought it was a great synergy, and that's one of our focus areas. I think that our Smart Start team would help them with that, though. Our actual staff would be able to help them fill that out. And one of the great things is, even if they're not currently a business owner, they could sign up to take like a co-starters class, and that would be a scholarship. So they would learn how to actually begin that business and stuff. So it'll be some great opportunities. So like I said, I'm fingers crossed, because we filled out a really nice application. So hopefully they'll give that to us. Could be a huge opportunity for Pasco County.
It will be, absolutely. Definitely synergistic. So thank you for sharing that great news, and we're going to stand by and wait for your updates. Well, that ties right in special projects, and like you said, whether it goes under collaborations with the PEDC or special projects, it's definitely one of those. So any additional updates? I know we talked about where we are with the listing, but where are we? Where do you want us to be?
Well, right now we have a total of 86 women-owned businesses compiled in an alphabetical spreadsheet. I really would love to get any information that Lauren might have for West Pasco, and any chambers on the west side of the county. We pretty much have taken care of all the east side, inputting those women-owned businesses, but is Is there a list that you were able to come up with, Lauren, or could put your fingers on for the west side?
I thought we saw something come through from the chamber. Wasn't that?
We had, yes, we did. We've added those.
Okay, so you're talking about in addition.
Nothing from the west side of the county.
Okay.
Unless I didn't get the email. I don't know. I don't know if Lauren's still listening or not. Lauren.
I know I'll have to go back through, but I felt like Kelly may have sent something. Let's follow up.
Yeah, I just would like to get a hold of that. And it might have been Kelly Mothershead said that she was going to get.
That's what I feel like.
Greater Pasco Chamber,
which is based in Newport Richey. It was the consolidation of West Pasco and the Trinity Chamber, right?
I think there is a Trinity Chamber.
Well, it became Greater Pasco.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it would be great if somebody had a connection there or knew of a women-owned list that we could get our hands on to add.
So I think while we're doing that, 86 is great. And I think this is an ongoing update. But I think our next topic is really to discuss how we're going to use this information to generate support, and also how we want to feature them. If if that ties back into our previous agenda, work plan item number 10 in terms of an annual event.
Well, and then also grouping together the businesses based on category and promoting, you would use this list to do that as well.
Right.
And it ties in with was that number 10 or was that?
Well, 10 was the event idea. And so we're going to re-engage everyone with that planning and determine what we're going to do. But that could be part of the strategy for the event if we had a special, panel, but also recognizing Women Business Leader of the Year or something like that, and have it be more community driven, like Taste of Pasco, versus, a small group of people making that decision.
Yes, because I noticed in the comments too, breaking it down by veteran-owned, is something that it would be a focus when we could group together the veteran-owned women businesses and post about that, or all the hair salons, all the marketing groups, all the lady lawyers. We could break out the group based on categories as well.
Right.
And this list will help us do that.
Okay, great.
So I'll keep working on it, adding to the spreadsheet.
Excellent. Well, I think that's great. All right, so our last topic is how we're participating in community events. And I know that we have volunteers signed up to be at the May 8th event that is being led by the PEDC. And it will be from 10 a.m. to noon on May 8th at the Hyatt. Any other updates?
Is that the event they're calling Grow Pasco?
It's a good question.
Is that what
we need to put it in our notes?
The PDC is hosting that, so Lauren would be the best to answer that question.
We'll follow up and make sure that goes in our notes, because I don't know.
Ma'am?
I'll be sure to bring the cart with the tablecloth to the May meeting. That way, whoever is attending that can have that with them.
Perfect. All right. Well, we are at the end of our work plan. Thank you for participating and everyone being prepared to share out. So back to our old business. We have not officially voted in the leadership, but we're just moving forward. We know that we can't vote on anything before the meeting. Jean was just updating us on her conversation with the county attorney and what possibility there was for us to try to get things voted on with the absence of in-person quorum, and there is no workaround for that. It's based on state statutes that the county has to adhere to, and so we just don't have a workaround. So other groups that are under the county, like ours, had ceased meeting during the pandemic. We did not. We kept moving forward, and so it's really open for discussion if you all feel that the lack of a quorum and lack of voting on things have hindered us, or if you want us to continue to proceed as we've done over the last 13 months. Can't believe it's been that long, but yeah.
Hey,
I'm
Cheryl,
open.
it's Hi, Cheryl, it's Denise.
Go ahead, Denise.
Being a newbie member, it has been a blessing to be able to keep engaged and keep being able to be part of the CSW when things like last month I was in the during our last meeting I was in the hospital having surgery, and being able to still be engaged and continue working. I think the CSW has done a phenomenal job adapting and moving on. You had done this previous to me being a member, so I can only applaud all of your efforts and say thank you. I think you're all amazing.
And I have to say, now that I've had my first COVID vaccine, hopefully when everybody finishes that or gets that, maybe they'll feel more comfortable in attending a meeting in person to where we can vote on this whole big stack of stuff that we need to take care of before too long. I feel like if we don't take care of that pretty soon, it's just going to be hard to manage,
right,
at some point.
Well, and honestly, I think that it wouldn't hurt, if we're not completely full for next month to even have a presentation on vaccine confidence. I mean, I work in the healthcare industry and we're seeing higher confidence in the vaccine among women, which is kind of unique that you mentioned that, because we, now that as of today, per the governor's orders, it's open to 18 and up. And we have a lot more entities that are offering it, but herd immunity is definitely the goal, and making sure that people, A, have access to it, B, know how to navigate, how to get it, and understand the differences. Having a pharmacist on a panel or a medical practitioner, someone from the health department, I think would definitely be a good panel discussion, because when healthcare workers were first given the opportunity back in December, January, that was really the first step in building confidence in the general public. And so I think it's just good that you mentioned it, Jean, because I think that would aid in our efforts, not just for us, but community-wide.
I mean, the only other suggestion I have to get a quorum and get everybody together is maybe if people are more comfortable meeting outside, we could sit around the fountain or something. I just feel like, with the vaccine and social distancing and whatever, we still should be able to try to pull everybody together at one point, so at least we can vote on our business at hand.
So can those of you who are virtual tell us what barriers you're dealing with that we can work on? If being outside would be appealing to you, or, because I've only missed the meetings when I was in the hospital, or last month when I was at my wedding. So you all need to tell us that are present what your barriers are and how we can work to remove them.
Hi, Cheryl, it's Denise again. I Patty Kathy again today. I just received my second vaccine, and I have no problem meeting in person. It's been health barriers that have prevented me. But I did want to let you know, just a little plug in here, tailing off with vaccine discussion. I went to the dog track off of 275 in Tampa. It's a FEMA location, and I cannot stress and support the amazing organization, phenomenal, just sense of hope. Every person that thank you go through there, even if it looks like there's a lot, you're out. We have all been out of there. Those of us who have attended within 40 to 45. So it's a great option if you're choosing to go and get your vaccine.
And you, and I guess, you know, you were betting, Kathy, but you've attended several virtual meetings this past year. So I really want to hear from those of you who have not, and if meeting outside would be appealing, or what can we do to re-engage? I mean, I can tell you from personal professional experience, Premier had its first leadership team meeting in person after 13 months on Friday. And it was incredible to bring our entire leadership team together. We were at the Hyatt, socially distanced, masked up. But it was really a synergistic opportunity. And there were about 40 of us, but it was important for our CEO to, you know, pull us together because we had really been operating virtually for the better part of the last year. So I know that there's fears, there's anxieties and whatnot. So tell us, is it space? Is it, you know, is it indoor, outdoor? I think that's what we're asking for from those of you that have not been able to attend in person.
Hi,
Rhonda.
Cheryl. This is Rhonda. I was just going to say that for me, I have been working remotely primarily on Mondays from Gainesville, but trying to get back on Mondays in time to get to this meeting. And it just seems like every Monday I've had some kind of crazy thing going on. Today I had my dog had her nose bit by a pig. I had to take her to the vet first thing this morning. So I'm open to meeting indoors or outdoors. And I think once this pandemic, I've had one shot, I'm getting the next one coming right up. It's going to be easier for me. We're going to get back on campus. So I'll be more in the area and available, hopefully starting next month.
Okay. So sounds like indoor,
Madam
outdoor.
Chair?
Go ahead.
I would have to remind the board, we have to offer the meetings via WebEx.
Right.
So if we meet outside, I don't think that's.
Oh.
That's a little obstacle.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say we couldn't use an iPad, but I guess.
Yeah, there's cameras in the boardrooms.
Okay.
So.
All right. Sorry. That's off the table. We're just trying to come up with ideas. Okay. Anybody else? I know that the 11 o'clock shift was also a challenge in terms of, you know, the time frame. So end of day was not possible due to the virtual hybrid delivery of the meeting. But when we switched to, at the recommendation of Jean, going back and forth from east to west, we had anticipated seeing at least more participation based on the rotation, and that has not happened. So we are willing to do whatever it takes, but feel free to reach out to me directly, email your ideas, your suggestions, and we will continue to work towards getting our team together.
Hey, Cheryl, this is Kelly Sin. I think I had mentioned at the time of our change, I have a standing senior leadership meeting that meets I was able to bump it to 10 o'clock, but that had typically conflicted with this meeting. Now they're back to back and they're both remote. So when I'm able to remote into this meeting, I can attend it. But obviously my other meeting ends at 11 and then I hop on here. So it's tough for me to get certainly across county, but even to you. So that's been my struggle. And that's what's prevented me mostly.
All right. Well, like I said, we'll continue to move forward. It sounds like everyone is good with us continuing. I don't think there's, outside of us having a strike on those that are not officially elected, we're fine as long as you all are fine continuing in the format that we have. And hopefully, we'll have 8 people at some point, and the day that we do, we will vote everything in.
Madam Chair, so considering that we haven't been able to get a quorum for the workshop that you guys want, I would suggest to schedule it for a future CSW meeting with hopes that we could get enough folks to it. But when I reach out to the performance management department to get someone to facilitate it, what is your intention? What do you guys want to achieve?
So similar to what we did a couple of years ago, we want to revisit our strategic priorities, build some consensus, and have some action steps that we would incorporate over the next 2 years so that we're at least allowing everyone to weigh in. Those that have joined us in the last 2 years kind of came in and knowing that we were focused on domestic violence, and now we just need to revisit, did we do what we said we were going to do? If so, great. If not, what else do we want to do? And being able to facilitate those ideas out of the CSW. So I can send that to you in an email.
Okay.
Now, if we did it during a meeting, it would have to be recorded and we would have to basically clear our agenda of everything else. Because I know when we did it the last time, we did it outside of a meeting and that was the only thing that we did.
I need to check back and see.
It was at the library, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was at the library. Mm-hmm.
I just can't remember if we did it during a regular meeting day. Or I have to check to see if.
Okay, can we?
Because everybody's meeting, I don't know if minutes have to be taken.
It's
been so long, I have to check.
Okay, well, let's follow up. I definitely want to play within the parameters, but I feel like that's such a vital step for us because, we are kind of picking up pace, and I just want to make sure that we are considering some of the other priorities that bubbled up and rotating those priorities as we continue our efforts. And especially as we gear up for whether it's a virtual or in-person event to commemorate women in our community, we want to know for sure what we're doing with any proceeds. Okay, so item 6 on the agenda is our guest speakers for May. And I do not have that in front of me.
There aren't any.
Okay, there aren't any. So that might be, I just answered my own question. I'm like, why is that blank? So I will follow up with Kelly. If she does not have anyone, then that's at least 30 minutes that we could have some facilitated discussion. So I think preferably, I would say a workshop outside of the recorded meeting so that we can really get into some good discussion. And if it has to be during a recorded meeting, then we need at least an hour of dedicated time with a facilitator so that I'm participating and I'm not facilitating. Okay. And we've already discussed item 7 and follow up with Denise is following up with Commissioner Fitzpatrick because she's already scheduled to meet with her about some related senior something. I know you said senior something.
High school senior car parades.
Oh, senior car parade. Yes. I have a junior, so I'm not there yet, but I will be there next year.
Oh,
and
there we go.
We're following up with Chuck Anderson at United Way. And that's it. So item 8, our next meeting is Monday, May 3rd, which will be right back here in Dade City. So we ask that everyone make every attempt to attend in person. And we have currently 13 active members with the goal of fulfilling our 15-member roster. So ideally, if we had 8 to 9 people here, we will have a quorum. Any announcements, any other announcements for the good of the group that you would, I'll open up the floor now and let you all make any announcements.
Update, although it's still ongoing.
Yeah, Sharni.
A little bit of an update. Restored Hope is still doing the merge with Metropolitan. We have new signage on the building.
Yeah, I saw that. I come that way to work. Excellent.
We finally have a sign on the side of the building. So the target date for the official, it would be October 1st.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Be gifted, and everything has been mirrored to mimic what they do. So we're really, really in good shape.
Excellent.
The other thing, we still have heart funding available. It is for, it really is a rent-based funding source. So it's for rent, utilities, and water. It is not mortgage assistance. It has to be COVID related. We have applications at Restored Hope. You also can sign up through the Pasco County Coalition, and they also send us a monthly list for us to follow up. So if you know anybody that is struggling, send them our way, because we also have private funding available too. So anybody, send them our way. And if we can't help them, we will find somebody who can.
Okay. And I do have a question based on your update, because I know that affordable housing for, head of households, moms and children, or dads and children, it continues to be a deficit in our county. I know that Metropolitan Ministries has the nice facility in Holiday on the west side. Are you all considering expanding that model anywhere else?
I hope so, but I don't know the answer.
Okay.
I don't know, but it would be wonderful to have some sort of transitional housing and sort of mimic exactly what they do in Holiday, but I'm not sure the long-term plan.
Okay. All right. So we might want to have your team present, just so because one of the areas that we did look at before was housing and stability and economic development for women. And I think that all of that ties together, because I can get a job, but if I don't have a place to live, how am I going to, get myself together? So I think that should be a continued focus and area for us to stay abreast of.
And we did recently, we just did a food drive to restock our pantry at Publix. We didn't do it last year because of COVID, and they asked us if we wanted to do it this year. So we did the one-day event. I think we did it from 9 to 3. Generous people in Dade City. We collected 1,800 pounds of food. Wow, generous people.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I can tell you one thing I did notice doing this event, not only women, I was very surprised how many handicapped people, a lot of women shop at Publix. It was a lot. So I don't know if at some point we can take a look at somehow doing something for handicapped women.
Disabled women, okay.
The barriers that they face.
We need to know more. All the more reason why we need a planning session. I don't know enough about the specific needs, but we do have several different organizations in our community that specialize in that area, so we can definitely get more information. Okay.
I just want to commend St. Leo University on their vaccine distribution. I don't know if Rhonda's still listening, but I was in and out of there in 20 minutes with getting my vaccine.
Excellent.
They just have a phenomenal setup there, and they're just a great community partner. And
it's operated by the health department, and they're using it as a location. So it's
what a great facility, though, the way that they have it all set up, and it's very easy. So thank you, St. Leo University.
Excellent.
It's been fantastic. They've done a really good job. The president and his wife have been right there volunteering, talking to people, and it's been real fast. You don't go there and sit. I think they've done a fantastic job. Thank you for commenting.
Yes. Thank you, Jean. Any other updates, Jean? I'm just going to go down the list. Any other general community updates or business updates?
No.
Okay. All right. Rosario, do you have any announcements? You may have lost her. Sharni. Lauren, do you have any announcements? Are you back with us? We had a question on the name of the event on May 8th.
Yes, multitasking.
Okay. I just want to give them a chance. And then Dr. Rhonda Roddell, do you have any other announcements that you would like to share?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Kelly, did you get a finale of your Feedback for Good fundraiser, Kelly Sin?
I was actually going to bring that up. There was a little bit of leadership transition at Express Feedback for Good, or 100X, and initially we had thought we would get a tally of how many surveys each individual that participated in completed. They sent a list of if they've completed 35 surveys, and then if they've completed 75 surveys. So there might be somebody who completed 29, and it'll say that they registered, but it was less than 35. I've asked for an actual tabulation. They have not got back to me with that yet. But that's good information for you to know, Cheryl. But I will tell you, I definitively know that this commission raised $540 definitively, and then there's some that registered and completed less than 35. I don't know how many. There's some that completed at least 35. I don't know how many the exact number is. So once I get that, I've asked them for that breakout. She said that they would work on it, but that's not something that they're going to do moving forward. So any surveys, I guess, that we participate in, any group participates in the future, you just need to know that. But they do tell you if they've completed the whole 75. We did have myself and two other commission members that did complete all 75 surveys, a few that weren't able to participate, and then some that completed either less than 70 or less than 35 or a couple over 35. So there's potential for maybe I'd say like $340 more at best, and I'll be able to give that final update hopefully at the next meeting. So, but we did raise at least $540.
Excellent. And then overall for the campaign, did you all achieve your goal?
We got close. We got a little over 22,000. So I think we had set a pretty lofty goal of 30, but we raised a little over 22,000, learned some things, and still struggling obviously on engagement. I mean, it's tough to get people engaged just to do surveys. So just learned some lessons and things we can do for next year.
Okay. Well, I will be reaching out to you and Vicki for those lessons learned. So who is the new contact? Because I know after Nicole, there was a new person. Did that new person leave as well?
No, it's still Brooke. She's still there. And the other woman, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but Brooke was our main contact. So she's still there.
All right, great. Well, very good. I think, like you said, it's easier said than done, but now that you've done it, and 22 is nothing to sneeze at. So I think that is tremendous. And thank you to the commission, the CSW members that participated. I think that really sets, the precedent that if we say we're going to do something, let's do it. Okay. All right. Yep. So any other updates?
And just say thank you for all of you that did complete surveys. I really appreciate it. I know it really does impact us. So thank you.
Excellent. Jenny, any updates from you? Any announcements? Okay. Teresa Foster, any announcements? And then Denise, any further announcements? I know you've been fully engaged throughout, but do you have any other general announcements?
No, thank you so very much.
Okay. And then I will just announce that along with what Jean mentioned, the community vaccination program, my organization, Premier Community Healthcare, is participating in the community COVID vaccination program. We actually have really focused on not just our community at large, but our vulnerable populations, people that may not have the ability to come out and, whether it's via drive-through or walk-up. And so we are planning to host a vaccine event at Moore Mickens at the end of the month. And then this coming Saturday, we have 400 vaccines that we'll be doing for pre-registered community members. And so last time I checked, I think we had about 150 people that were registered. So it's really given us an opportunity to not just educate the community about who we are and what we do, but to make it easy for people to get vaccines on the weekend. So
Which vaccine did y'all get?
initially we got Moderna. However, our CMO has made the decision that we will start ordering Johnson & Johnson. So the one dose, which, the return for the second dose is right about 60-70%. And so it's more challenging when you've got, set aside doses for that group that got the first dose. And then when you want them to come back for 28 days later, you're only getting 70%. And now you've got 30% of first doses, and it just creates a little bit of a nightmare. So, but we're excited. We've done over 2,000 doses since January, and we continue to work on COVID-related responses. We did get an award last week from the Department of HHS, Health Resources Service Administration, for $9.3 million to continue to address COVID through a variety of means. And so that is something that we're working on. All right. Well,
Cheryl,
thank you.
Cheryl, this is Denise again. I just wanted to get one last thing in and say thank you so much for all you do to try and all Premier, as you and Premier are doing to help our community. Thank you. That's wonderful.
Thanks. Thank you. All right. Well, it is now 12:32. I will officially call the meeting to adjourn. Thank you all for your participation, and I hope to see you on May 3rd.
Cheryl.
Thank you, Jean. Yeah. Thank you, Shiny. So one of the ideas, wonderful.